Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiffs hired the defendant to photograph their wedding. The problem, no pics. The defendant says the operative word in this case is cheapskate. It's the case of we're in the dark.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Mary Ellen and Ken Rosenberg.
Yes.
You are suing Mr. Cohen and his photography company for $3,000. You're going to have to explain how you come to these figures for breaching a photography contract for your wedding. You have a counterclaim against her for $585 for the amount that you say is still owed on the job. All right, so what happened?
Okay, on March 23rd of 2009, we met with Lou and we signed a contract, which I have here.
Okay. And you were getting married on what date?
August 15th.
And that's actually your 50th wedding?
That's correct.
Your
My
50th
my 50th birthday.
First or second wedding?
It was my second wedding.
Or third or fourth?
It was second. Just two. We're done. We're done.
Okay. And so what happens? How do you find out about him?
He did my brother's wedding like 8 years prior.
Okay.
And he did a magnificent job. He did a wonderful job at my brother's wedding. I was really happy when she remembered who he was and how I could find him.
Okay.
So I kind of sought him out, and he was able to do the album the way I wanted. I wanted a specific album, which was called a magazine layout, and I signed a contract for 40 pictures in that album.
Okay.
Okay. We left the contract was for $1,985. It was to include an 8x10, 3 5x7s, 75 thank you cards, and all proofs, which turned out to be about 375, 380 proofs. All the pictures were great. I have no problem with the pictures. He did a great job. We were supposed to pay this contract in installments. The first payment was going to be $400. That was due on the 23rd of March. The second payment was due at the wedding on August 15th for $500.
And then the third payment when you got the proofs?
That's correct.
And then a remaining balance when you got the album.
That's correct.
So what went wrong? Everything is so detailed. It's so perfect.
Well,
it's like it's iron proof here. It's fabulous.
It was a really good deal. Okay.
Then you guys changed the contract.
Then we changed the contract.
There we go. Now
without
what do we
writing
have?
it. This is why we need you. Unbelievable, right?
What happened?
Okay, so when we looked at the proofs, when we picked them up, we loved them. We went back to meet with Lou in November, August 28th. I'm sorry. We loved the pictures. We gave a $500 payment.
So now we have steps 1, 2, and 3 of the contract fulfilled.
For $1,400.
The last thing that you have to do, so that would be $1,400.
That's correct.
Is pay the $585 last dollars.
That's correct.
That if everything had just stayed the way it was, you would pay when you got the album.
That's
that was
correct.
where we were. $585 is
Absolutely.
owed.
Everything was great till then.
Okay,
We
and
were
then
on
on
the same
that
page.
day, you and Lou enter into a new verbal agreement, and what was it according to you?
According to me, it was double the pictures for an additional $500.
I'm sorry, what does that mean, though? Double the pictures in the album?
Yes.
80 images instead of 40 images.
Correct.
Right.
For an additional $500, making the total now $1,085.
Okay.
When we met with Lou, we gave him $1,000.
But he alerts you that that's not his understanding.
Well, you know what we said to each other? It was like 4 days before Thanksgiving. It was very cold, it was nighttime.
Why are you telling me this?
Well,
You're trying to explain why you left the $1,000 bucks?
That's
You
why
don't want
we
to drive twice?
My husband said to me, he goes,
Do
just
you let him
let's go
speak, or
home.
he doesn't get to speak yet?
No, I don't get to speak.
Never? Good. Get used to it now, pal. Go
I'm
ahead.
used to it. We went to meet him. It was late, and we went home. We looked at the contract.
Okay, so you leave
and we
it with
called
him that we're going to go home and look at the contract.
Right, correct.
All right, so you go home, you look at the contract.
And we call him up, and we tell him that
Who does the calling?
Mary does.
Okay, go ahead, Mary.
And no, I didn't get a response. I just left a message that,
All right.
we were
Now,
in agreement
what
with
is your version of this? Go ahead.
Some of the numbers that were quoted by Mrs. Rosenberg were off a little bit. She contracted, yes, for 40 images, but she chose 120. And I did what I normally do. I said, well, let's look at them. Sometimes people take duplicates without realizing it, and maybe we can weed them down to a more manageable, affordable number. We did that. We went through them together, and there was not very many she wanted to take out. She just loved them.
Was she just that beautiful? Let me see these pictures.
Wow. Well, let me
Did
tell
they
you.
really come out that great?
Yeah.
That's when it's all over, that's what you got.
I don't know.
That and a husband, but I mean, when it's all over, the pictures are
Memories.
so important because it happens like this. You just got to freeze frame and try to remember your. Can I see it?
Oh, of course.
Do you have?
This is I did an engagement session.
You don't.
For that.
You don't have the album, right?
Oh, I do. I have that as well.
Oh, an album with how many pictures?
Actually, 136. When we
Wow.
met, well,
I
I'll
never
tell you
even
what.
saw it.
She chose 100. Well, you saw the actual.
know.
Right. She
You saw it on the computer.
I know.
This particular couple photographs beautifully, and as you see, Mary Ellen is a striking-looking woman. And to be quite blunt with you, I wanted to use their wedding album as a sample. I get a significant number of people contacting me now who are not kids in their 20s getting married, but in fact are second weddings. And those people want to see. They want to see people about their age. So I said to Mary Ellen, I said, would you mind? I said, if I use this as a sample, number one. And I said, number two, I will, do I have your permission to add a few extra pictures in there should I think that it needs it for the design at my cost? I won't charge any more. And
these bridesmaids dresses, you can actually wear later, as opposed to the ones I made all my bridesmaids wear.
Those are all our kids.
Those are your children?
Except
are
for
our
the best
children.
man.
Well, that I figured out. Okay, so go on, I'm sorry.
that's okay. So she agreed to that, and I wound up with 136. Well, I made an agreement. I actually have here the appointment page when we did, in fact, meet to discuss how many pictures were going in the album. And I did a scratch thing on the back here to tell them what I would charge. I believe you have a copy of this. It says there were 120 chosen, minus 40 from the original. There were 80 additional. They are $2,250 each. It came out to $1,800. And I said I would do it for $1,000 even.
And according to you, the 1,000 was for the additional pictures, which was besides the 585 they already owed you.
Yeah. And Mary Ellen slapped her hand on the table and said, do it.
Do it.
I think the situation is that she thought that would
Cover the
take
whole
care
thing.
of everything.
Right.
But in fact, there was a prior balance.
Right. So it's very clear what happened here. You thought the 1,000 was taking care of the whole, or 1,085 would take care of the whole thing.
Right.
And he's saying, no, that's what's extra for the extra photos. Was that chicken scratch like on there something that you guys, like, do you remember sitting at a table and that being?
I don't remember that exactly like that. I don't. I can't say that I do. I do remember going over.
Like, how would it end up being only 500 more to get triple the photos?
Well, we thought it was double the
We
photos.
were only going with 80.
We thought it was 80.
Okay, so what we have here, folks, is that clearly a failure to communicate. I'm with you. I sort of understand what you're saying. How is it that you would possibly give them triple the photos? I mean, your analysis is going to be how much more is this going to cost you. It's not going to be how much will it cost you to wrap it up, including your prior balance. It's going to be, okay, you want triple the photos, this is how much more it's going to cost you. It should cost you $1,800. It's only going to cost you $1,000. Sold! Because she loves her pictures and she loves what you've done, and you're an artist, and she looks gorgeous, and this is posterity. And so, but I see very clearly that you very clearly meant what you said. You were not unclear about it. But when two parties to a contract don't have a meeting of the minds, there is no contract. So we got a problem. Because really, if you want, this is what we'll do. I will order him to make you an album with only 40 pictures in it. And then you would get returned to you $500 and something. But you don't want that. You want to take a look at this?
No, I really want my pictures.
Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to take a recess, okay? You're going to take a look at this, because what he is asking to charge for this is a deal.
I'm sure it's. I know him.
Court's in recess. Take a look at this. You're not going to be able to make this out of the proofs. That's not going to work.
All rise.
The deal is picture imperfect. Will the plaintiff get $3 grand? Judge Milian rules next. We will find out what happens going inside the courtroom.
Have a seat, guys, please.
I love happy endings. So, let me see if I understand this correctly, because my court staff tells me that during my absence, you saw the album, you wept uncontrollably, you told the photographer you loved him, and you were handing out cards to the audience. Have I got it right?
Pretty much.
Is that priceless?
That's priceless.
Is that worth the money?
That is worth the
money.
money.
It is indeed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can we call it a day? Let's call it a day. So there's a remaining balance of $585, so I am going to order, in fact, that be paid to you. And will there be anything left other than the handing over of the proofs? That's all that will be left, right?
Correct, and the files as well.
Okay, excellent.
And the what?
Good luck, Coates.
The
Verdict for the
file negatives.
defendant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, with our wedding album, here comes the bride. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I feel like we were at your wedding just now. It's like you got married all over again. Yeah?
Felt like it
Tell
too.
us what it did feel like when.
Felt wonderful to see the pictures. And
Great.
I think that Mr. Cohen is like the best photographer they could be. So it really wasn't a matter of anything except for a misunderstanding of the contract. And
That's a
thank you.
beautiful book.
Thank you.
What in there like brought tears to your eyes?
Everything. Our children. She's in the book. She did my hair.
but-
It's just stunning. He did a magnificent job.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's like a second wedding for the two. Head right down this way. All right, this man just got the best commercial on national TV you could possibly want. You don't even need the second copy to hand out. You just got a better advertisement for yourself than you could ever ask for.
I'm just glad she's really happy. They're actually a very sweet couple, and it was a misunderstanding. But the bottom line is they're happy. They'll recommend me, and I can't ask for anything more.